Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for Devotionables. These are brief devotions for busy people. My name is Gabriel and I am honored that you would take a moment out of your day to dive in the Word of God with us. We're reading through the entire Bible, or that is 260 foundational chapters in the Bible. And so we find ourselves on the latter half of the book of Genesis, the very first book of the Bible. And the spotlight is coming on to Joseph. And again, behind the scene though, the main character is God and what God is doing to protect His people and to preserve and to protect His promises. And as I was reading through this, and many of you probably have read through this story before, and you're familiar with the ending, and I'm kind of trying to read it with fresh eyes, and that's hard to do, admittedly, to think, okay, I know how this is all working out and where this is going to go. But in chapter 40, this one verse particularly has just struck my heart this week. I've been thinking on it and was very encouraged by it, and I hope that you will be as well. It's verse 15 of chapter 40. It says this, "For I was indeed stolen out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that they should put me into the pit." Joseph here is having a conversation with the cupbearer of King Pharaoh, who Pharaoh was displeased with his cupbearer and also the baker. He puts them, we don't know what the offenses were, but we know they had got on the wrong side of Pharaoh, and he puts them in there. And both of them have these dreams, and they're like, what do these things mean? And we've learned along the way that Joseph has this ability from the Lord to interpret dreams and to have these dreams. And so he interprets the dream here of the cupbearer and says, hey, it's going to be favorable for you. Pharaoh is going to restore you to your position. When he does, remember me, right? You think how long Joseph now has been, he was about 17 or so maybe, I think, when his brothers put him in the pit and then ended up selling him off into slavery. And he's going to be, I think, 30 when we get to the point when, and getting ahead of where we've been, but when Pharaoh calls him. So you think about 30 to 17, 2 years difference here. So roughly 28 or so. And think how long he's been praying. How long he's been saying, Lord, I just want to go home. I just want to get out of this mess. I didn't want to be here. All right, maybe you could relate to that wherever you are today. And maybe it's not because of circumstances you've done, but for whatever reason, people have put you there. And so this word, it's interesting to point out here, the word pit, he's in a dungeon, he's in this prison, and then the word he uses is the same word of the hole in the ground, which is, a pit, what his brothers put him in. So these two different situations, they have so many things in common, right? And both of them out of his control, and then great injustice has been done to Joseph. And yet, as he's talking here, I don't get any I don't want to push this too far. It could be, maybe there's bitterness in his heart. But as I read this verse, I just see it's true. Like he's speaking truth. Like, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. This is not the second time I'm in the pit. I did nothing wrong. I should not be here. Remember me, right? But there's no bitterness that I'm seeing. Like, in fact, I would have gone like, hey, you know what? I can't believe I'm here. You think you got my brothers sold me into slavery. They put me in a pit and then they sold me to some traders. And then I was falsely accused. My character is being judged, and wrongly so, with Potiphar and the Potiphar's wife situation. I was pure, and here I am, haven't done nothing wrong in anything in these situations, and I'm here. And yet, sometimes especially I think time, we can just allow ourselves to go through, and we're bitter, and we'll give ourselves over to this bitterness sometimes, and we hold on to grudges, and we can wallow in it to where we're like we don't seek to move on with life. Here, Joseph is seeking to move on, right? Like, get me out. Like, I shouldn't be here. When Pharaoh restores you, remember me. Don't forget me. And then also, it could be like, you know what? I'm going to get ahead, and I'm not going to forgive. I'm going to enact vengeance on my brothers and on Potiphar and his wife. But again, I don't want to push it too far, but it's a verse that stuck out to me. Like, we know the ending of the story, and there's these amazing forgiveness scenes that we happen to read about between Joseph and his brothers. But it was God doing a deep, deep work in Joseph in these moments when he would never have signed up for himself. And God always does His best work in these moments. And so just entrust yourself to the Lord. Consider wherever you are, whether it's in a pit like Joseph, wherever you are, you're there because the Lord has you there. And what He may be doing in you and wanting to do through you. God's blessings on you today.